Good morning, everyone. It is my great pleasure to be here today to present my research title, A Study on the Operatic Elements in the Chinese National Opera, The White-Haired Girl. A case analysis of the arrow portrayed as lofty as mountains, surrounded as deep as seas. In this lecture, I will share the research method I used to explore the operatic structure, expressive style, and vocal performance of this pivotal era. Today, I will walk you through the following aspects of my research methodology. The opera, The White-Haired Girl, holds a foundational place in the development of Chinese national opera. The aerial hatred has lofty as mountains, surrounded as deep as seas, survives as a climax in the character transformation of Xi'er, encapsulating deep emotion and dramatic tension. Studying this era provides insight into how traditional operatic elements, particularly from Peking opera, are integrated into a modern revolutionary narrative. It also serves as a model for understanding the fusion of national style and Western operatic structure in Chinese vocal music. The study aims to analyze the operatic characteristics of the era, including melodic constructions, rhythm, and instrumentation. Investigate the role of traditional opera elements, particularly in vocal delivery and expressive techniques. Examining the portrayal of the characters CR and the era's function in narrative progression, provide interpretive and technique guidance for performance engaging with this repertoire. The study focuses on the following key questions. What are the operatic features of the era, hatred as lofty as mountains, surround as deep as seas? How does the era integrate elements from traditional Chinese opera forms? What vocal techniques are employed, and how do they reflect the dramatic arc of the character? How can this work inform contemporary vocal performance practice in Chinese national opera? The main section of this study include historical background and opera self, musical structure, and vocal line analysis. Stylistic integration of traditional operatic techniques, vocal performance, and interpretative stages to explore the era comprehensively. I adopt a set of qualitative methods and practice research. Literature analysis, studying academic research on the white-haired girl, Chinese opera theory, and vocal technique. Score analysis, a detailed breakdown of the era's melody, harmony, rhythms, and orchestration. Audiovisual analysis, comparing profession performances by different singers, focusing on interpretation, phrasing, and emotional delivery. comparative analysis, identifying how elements of traditional Peking opera are adapted and transformed in the era. Practice analysis, seeking insights from own practice on the role of art. Given the interdisciplinary nature of the era, blending music, literature, drama, and cultural symbolism, qualitative method allows for a holistic understanding that cannot be captured through qualitative approaches. This methodology enabled me to explore not only the technical features of the music, but also the interpretive nuance, cultural context, and emotional layer embedded in the performance of the era. The literature laid the groundwork for my research. Several key sources provided important perspectives. Historical studies on the development of the white-haired girl opera, vocal analysis of the revolutionary opera eras, discussions on the adaptation of traditional opera in modern stage works, technique measure on Chinese vocal performance. Let me now introduce a few important sources in more details. Through not director related to the white hair girls. This biographical account of Jing opera performer Chen Yuying offers valuable information on the Haikai vocal style, a feature prominent in Northern Chinese opera. The source explores stylistic nuances such as ornamentation, vibrato, and narrative cadence elements and that Mark may have drawn from when composing emotionally intense passage. This allows the current study to trace musical parallels between regional opera styles and the white-haired girl, especially in how regional vocal traditions influence the dramatic and musical architecture of the era in Fox. One book outlines the history, musical structure, and the key stylistic features of Jin opera, including the high vocal systems. This context is critical to understanding the regional influence present in the white-haired girl, especially within emotionally heightened areas such as hatred as lofty as mountains, surround as deep as sea. The historical detail and structural analysis offered by the book allowed for a deeper understanding of how Mark adapted the traditional operatic forms to fit modern national narrative. Xu's comprehensive text offers essential theoretic context on the evolution of Chinese drama and opera, explaining fundamental structures like 板腔 and 曲牌 systems. Understanding these forms is necessary for dissecting how Mark integrated them into modern opera. The book serves as a scholarly framework that helps situate the era within borders. Traditionals validating arguments about structural continuity between Chinese opera and the national operatic expression. It enriches the scenes by anchoring stylistic observation in historical and technique traditional. Written by renowned soprano Pen Liyuan, who portrayed Xi This autobiographical article offers a unique insight into her interpretive process. Pen discussed how she first traditional operatic singing with the character-driven emotion, expression, and body language. Her performance philosophy, especially her attention to vocal modulation and stylist phrasing, director informs the research that focus on operatic elements. My initial research has yielded several important findings. Historical context. The white-haired girls emerged during a period of the intense social political change, and its music reflects a deliberate informed to merge traditional Chinese operatic form with a revolutionary narrative to serve nationalistic purposes. Character profile. CR character, as presented in the era, embodies a complex emotional transformation from despair and helplessness to rightness, anger, and inner awakening. Through melody's design, rhythmic intensity, and vocal coloration, Ma Ke construed Xi not just as a victim, but as a symbol of resilience and hope. Stylistic integration. The era draws heavily from regional opera traditions, such as Hakkai style, while also adopting Western operatic structures like a modified ternary from a chromatic harmony to heighten dramatic tension. Moving forward, I will continue using qualitative methods shifting the focus to comparative performances analysis, including historical encoding from the 1950s to modern stagings, deeper texture and poetic analysis of the era libretto to explore its dramatic pressing and emotional symbolism. What I see as the potential impact of this research. This research has the potential to make several meaningful contributions. Academic understanding, it adds to the scholarly conversation about how Chinese national opener develops its unique identity by integrating traditional and Western forms, offering a case study and highlights the complexities of the cultural fusion. Performance practice by providing technique and interpretive insights, the style can serve as a valuable reference for vocalists directors, and educators engaged in performing or teaching Chinese revolutionary opera. Cultural preservation. In an era of globalization, understanding the roots and evolution of national opera forms is crucial for preserving cultural heritage while fostering innovation. Despite its subjective challenges, qualitative research is essential for capturing the depth and complexity of the vocal work like this era. This study not only contributed to the understanding of the white-haired girl, but also provided a valuable resource for informers approaching Chinese national opera repertoire. All reference sites in this presentation and are selected from the peer-reviewed journals, academic books, and authoritative sources on Chinese opera and vocal techniques. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to your questions and the discussion on this exciting topic.